I'm so glad you're with us here on the Clark Howard Show, where our mission is to serve you with advice and information that empowers you to make better financial decisions in your life. I know I've talked about electric cars and the deals out there. We had a question from somebody yesterday involving buying a Mercedes electric. I want to share with you how the troubles at Tesla could create a great deal for you. Also, I've had so many people ask me about Paze, which is a new digital wallet that the big banks are trying to get you to take up. I'm going to tell you what I think about Paze. And right now, though, I want to tell you, Tesla is in a world of hurt. Their sales are dropping from a year ago. They had a lousy first quarter. They manufactured a lot more vehicles than the marketplace absorbed in the first quarter. And this has never happened with Tesla before. And so Tesla is cutting prices like crazy right now to try to move out inventory. And people are gobbling up Teslas who may not have considered buying them before because they were flat out so expensive. And this is before tax credits. They're selling Model Ys, which I think is the world's #1 selling vehicle now. Anyway, they're selling them at big discounts from list if you buy them. I'm looking right now, 40,000, 41,000, 41, 41, 41, 42. I mean, a lot available for sale. People have been gobbling them up. Yesterday, there were some available at 37,000. And again, this is before tax credits. After tax credit for ones that are eligible, you're paying net for a brand new SUV, $33,000. But the thing is, what's happened, electrics are out. They were so in, and now they're so out. So if you are one of those people who can zig while others are zagging, the weakest spot of the vehicle market in the United States now is electrics. And gas prices in the U.S. go up and down, up and down. We have so little control over that. We're in, unfortunately, an upcycle on gasoline prices now. And it's because the world economy has gotten a lot stronger recently. Our economy is really strong. And so you're going to see pain at the pump. Electric vehicle owners don't have to worry about that because the cost of owning and operating an electric vehicle from the charging standpoint is dirt cheap. And if you have a garage or you have a home where you have charging available, it's really easy. If you don't, having an electric vehicle is a pain because you got to take it somewhere to charge it. But if you have the ability to charge, this is a really great opportunity to look at buying an electric. The Model 3 is a little cheaper. Some of those are in the 30s. The Model Y, right around 40 or so. I mean, and the Model Y is a really great car. It's something you got to get used to because it looks like you stepped into a spaceship. And everything is on one touchscreen giant tablet thing that's in the car. But they're fun to drive and cheap to run. And they are, Christa, I hate to put you on the spot.
Oh, boy.
$20,000 less than you paid?
No, I got one of the very first ones.
Oh, okay.
I ordered it before you could even see it. So 4 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
they're
great.
Cheaper now than when you got them.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend Liz last night, and she's got the dilemma a lot of people have, like, because her van is 11 years old, her tried and true minivan, and they need to get rid of it soon because it's on its last legs. And they're trying to decide between hybrid and electric. So she's going to drive my car for a little while because I was saying, you were talking about what a deal they are.
The other thing is I got the first Tesla Autopilot 9 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever it was. And it was Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Oh, my goodness. They put that out on the road before it had any idea what it was doing driving the vehicle. And I've just been using the newest version because I drive a 5-year-old Tesla S, and I just got the software update over the air. It drives on surface streets well for the first time their software has ever done. Freeways, I mean, you're not supposed to, but you could read a book because the car drives perfectly. Surface streets, it was a disaster till now. And they got rid of a lot of their existing software code. They employed a lot of AI in the new version. And it's ridiculously good handling four-way stop signs, handling left turns at red lights, going around traffic when one lane's slower than the other, does the lane changes really well. I mean, it is crazy that we are getting closer and closer to an era where vehicles will drive themselves. Now, you have a 30-day trial of it. Have you tried it yet?
No. But I do want to say one thing when we talk about this, because I've noticed some comments recently that, like, we know that, you know, they're expensive, even though this is a deal. Like, these are expensive cars, and a lot of people can't even afford to buy a used car right now.
Right,
they're so
right.
expensive, and I don't want to be tone deaf to that, too, because some people think we are, like, we travel all over and blah, 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 and I know that that is hard for some people to hear.
I am a privileged individual.
As am I.
And that's a fact. Let me say something else that's going to save a lot of lives. The self-drive on the freeways is coming to the tractor-trailer trucks. Those drivers have brutal jobs. Mm-hmm. They're out there too many hours. They're carrying these huge loads, and bringing the self-driving or semi-self-driving, whatever you want to call it, technology to the truck fleets is so fantastic, and it's absolutely happening because you see drivers fatiguing on the road, and they've got enough to deal with the crazy car drivers on the road.
Oh, yeah.
And avoiding accidents carrying those big loads because, I mean, let's face it, we're the biggest problem.
Oh, yeah.
Out on the road, the way people do the wild lane changes and cut trucks off and all that.
I don't know how truck drivers do it, man. It's such a hard job.
They're out there hour after hour after hour, and having the automation in the trucks is going to save a lot of truckers' lives and a lot of other people's lives, eliminate a lot of accidents. And it is going to happen. It already is happening for a small amount of the truck fleet. But having seen this new full self-drive software and having used it, I mean, this stuff's real, and it's going to really make a difference in our lives.
Rob in Kentucky says, in May, I will be retiring from the Boeing company after working there since 1997. Fortunately, I was hired while the company still offered a pension. At issue is whether to take a lump sum of $245,000 or receive a monthly distribution of $1,900. Boeing has $54 billion in debt and a large unfunded pension obligation. With all the challenges the company is facing, our concern is that the annuity distributions could be affected over time. Does the PBGC cover all projected distributions once they begin? My wife and I both turned 60 in this month, actually, so the monthly distribution would help offset medical insurance premiums until Medicare kicks in at 65. However, we're not dependent on the pension as a source of income. Can you explain the risks of taking a monthly distribution over a lump sum payout?
All right. So, first of all, thank you for your long years of service that you qualified for the pension. And when you have a pension that fails, the company fails, they can't pay it, and it becomes an obligation of the Pension Benefit Guarantee Corporation, depending on where you are on their scale, your pension may take a haircut in what the feds assume moving forward versus the full pension that you're to receive now. Since you're with Boeing, I assume, maybe incorrectly, most Boeing workers are union members. You should be able to get advice from the union on whether or not you were someone who would get a full pension check each month if Boeing's pension fund failed, or if it did not. If it failed, would you get a reduction, or would you get the full amount? You also can go to the Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation website, and they have information explaining it, that you better be really alert, have no distractions, and read to see if you would have full pension moving forward under the guarantee or not. As to Boeing failing is an ongoing concern, Boeing basically has the federal government backing them. Boeing is so important to the nation's defense that the federal government is not going to allow Boeing to fail. Even if Boeing in normal capitalism should fail, it will not fail because of the needs to preserve our national defense. So I don't worry so much. If Boeing were a company making toothpaste and they were running it like Boeing runs with all the debt and all that, I'd be like, yeah, you maybe really want to consider taking the lump sum. But because of the fact that the federal government's going to be there as a backstop, I'm not as worried about you taking a monthly pension check from Boeing.
Charles in Texas says, I'm rebuilding my credit, and one of my credit cards wants to raise my limit, but wants me to pay a one-time fee. Is this normal, and should I do it? And I gave you the info there.
Oh, man, this company that issues credit cards to people with challenge credit, Charles, I can't stand them. The complaints online about them are legendary. I mean, just go put in their name and put reviews, and you'll see how much people hate this company. They are a source of so many consumer complaints. And to tell you that you're worthy of a credit limit increase, but they want you to pay a fee to get the credit limit increase, annoys me no end. What I'd like you to do is use it to continue rebuilding your credit. If you've been with them a while, leave it like it is. Use a very small amount of the available credit every month, somewhere around 15% of the available credit. You have an $800 limit, so it would be never have more than $120 outstanding at the end of a billing cycle on this card. Go join a credit union, join their credit builder program. Having had this trashy credit rebuilder card here should help you qualify now for a credit union card. And then eventually you're going to be able to kick these people to the curb. But it's so insulting to tell you, yeah, we think you're handling credit really well, so we're going to charge you to give you more credit limit. I don't like that at all.
All right, Bruce in Georgia is going to bring us back to cars. I listen to your podcast during my daily walks. I wanted to pass along a recent tip which might help other listeners. Recently, I noticed a screw in the middle of one of my wife's run-flat car tires. I mentioned it to her so she could stop by the tire dealer who sold the last set to us. The car is equipped with wheel locks. However, the tire dealer did not replace the wheel key in our vehicle after installing the new tires. We could not proceed with fixing the problem until getting a replacement key. What if you had this issue on a long road trip? My suggestion is, 1, check to see if your vehicle has wheel locks now. Do you know where the key is supposed to be? Is it actually there? And 2, if you have your wheel lock tires serviced, make sure you get the key back in your hands when you pay. Footnote, we also took the car to get the wheel locks removed for $200. It was preventative money well spent.
So I didn't know these things were a thing.
I didn't either.
Till it happened with a car Lane had.
Oh.
And
is this because like people steal wheels and yeah? Okay.
Yeah, because the wheels, some of the fancy cars will have fancy wheels, and people want to steal them. So they have these locks, and sure enough, lock key went missing when she got a new set of tires. We had to pay the money to get that taken care of. Yuck. Wow. The answer is don't buy a car with expensive wheels, right? But what you did, I would say, is money well spent. But your second suggestion, if you do have a vehicle with expensive wheels that have wheel locks, what you said is rule number one, always make sure you leave the tire center with the wheel lock key. That's something you got to get before you leave, because dealing with it later when it's an oops is a big problem.
Bring it with you when you're driving, for sure.
Well, they're supposed to be in a certain place in the car.
Oh, okay.
The wheel lock.
I didn't know.
The key.
Okay.
And so the key went missing, like in his case. Not a happy day.
Oh, boy.
So that's why simpler things in life lead to fewer problems, and more basic vehicles without fancy wheels better than ones with fancy wheels, because there's a cost to doing business when you have those. And so that was $200 well spent. Coming up ahead, we're going to talk about the digital wallet and how there's a big market share fight over the digital wallet, what you need to know, what you need to avoid. Times are really changing. There's a restaurant we go to that does not take Apple Pay. And I guess so many people come in and want to pay for their food with Apple Pay. They now have a big sign when you come in to sit down, Apple Pay not accepted. And so I, being the dummy I am, I said, well, do you take GPay? They're like, what's that? That's the Google version. It's now called Google Wallets. Google changes the name of everything every 90 days. Anyway, have you seen how many people with iPhones have the little teeny wallet attached to their iPhone, the back of their iPhone? And that's their only wallet. And it'll have like their driver's license in it, and maybe that's about it. I don't know what else they carry, because so many people are doing things digitally. Morning Consult reports that 7 in 10 Americans now use PayPal, 4 in 10 use Venmo and Cash App. And then Apple Pay and GPay or Google Wallet, whatever, big chunk of people use it. And the creation of the small wallet, I carry a small wallet now, and so much stuff that you used to have to carry, you don't have to. And now we're getting close to not having to carry a physical driver's license anymore. I have, in my state, you can have a driver's license that's digital. And I have a digital license on my phone. And I can just pull it up. And I still carry a driver's license because so many places are like, what's that? And at airport security, you have to go to a special line where you can present a digital driver's license. Not worth it yet, obviously. But more and more things are in digital form. Different things I'm a member of, things like that, I have them all digitally on my phone, no longer carrying a card. At the same time, I still carry a number of pieces of plastic. So I need a small wallet, because you don't know, when is the payment system going to be down to pay digitally? But this idea of paying digitally is important real estate that everybody wants. Now the banks have come out with their own thing from the same, I'm going to be careful what words I use. I was about to say some really unfriendly words about a payment thing that I hate that the banks offer. I'm not even going to say it. But the banks also now are launching their own, you want to say it?
Zelle.
Zelle, big bad Zelle. Big bad Zelle, trash, do not use it, terrible. Even though they've come up with tiny little pseudo consumer protections. Zelle, now they're doing that because they don't like PayPal, they don't like Venmo, they don't like Cash App, they don't like Apple Pay, they don't like Google Wallet, they don't like any of that stuff because they're terrified as the banks become less and less relevant in our lives. So now they've come up with their version of a digital wallet that they're going to try to get you to get. I hate to even mention Paze, because it doesn't pay to have Paze.
It's spelled P-A-Z-E.
P-A-Z-E. So when you get the thing from your bank telling you how great Paze is, ignore it, ignore it, ignore it. Why are they doing it? Because they want to try to have what's called a sticky. They want to try to keep you stuck with them instead of the innovation of the digital market that happens from technology companies. So don't get stuck in the concrete of the past with doing some kind of bank Me Too product. Stay with the independents, but know that the digital way of paying for everything means that everything you do is tracked. And when the digital doesn't work, like the restaurant that says, we don't take Apple Pay. I was doing a pickup order the other day, and someone came in to order carryout. And they had placed the order, and they were to get it. And they went to tap to pay, and this is the place with the sign. And the cashier, the guy said, we don't take Apple Pay. The person didn't say a word, turned around, and walked out of the restaurant.
Wow.
And abandoned their food.
You know, last night I was at a restaurant where you pay with the app. And, like, you scan a QR code and it goes on your phone. And I went to do my final payment, like you order through it, everything. I went to do my final payment and accidentally they had Amazon Pay on there and then pay with a credit card. So I hit Amazon Pay and it took me to my Amazon account and it offered me my card. So I just paid through it. But that's also like something that's getting offered a lot.
Amazon Pay?
Yeah.
I see it when Lane sends me the whole paycheck. But I don't even know how to use it.
I mean, it's just another option. And it has my saved payment methods from Amazon. So I just clicked on the card I wanted to use and did that.
So the idea is, yeah, you can digitize a lot of stuff, but don't fully depend on it because it may or may not work.
Right.
You want to have an alternate way to pay for things and stay away from products that are captive proprietary of the banks. And your life will be a whole lot more pleasant.
Jeff in Florida wrote in with this. I'm going to name the airline because it's not their fault. Scam alert. Our college-age son was traveling back from Peru. He had a Delta flight back, and he had purchased as part of a round-trip ticket. His friend was able to check in online, but our son could not. He searched for the Delta customer service number on Google and called. After explaining his story, they transferred him to a quote-unquote partner.
Ugh.
That representative explained to my son that he had purchased a standby ticket and he would need to take a flight the next day and pay the difference in the fare. Luckily, my son conferenced me in, and after I questioned the rep, the call was dropped. I immediately called Delta, and they were very aware of the scam. They shared that the scammers would have actually rebooked my son's ticket for him with the initial price credited, but at a very large premium. The crooks have my son's name, birth date, and confirmation number. Delta supplied us with a security word that would be needed if we or he or the crooks tried to change the reservation. I had not heard of this scam previously and wanted to share to helpfully help others.
So, Jeff, this is an angle we've not heard before with the fake numbers on a Google search. And any customer no service number you see in a Google search automatically assume today, is sad to say, that it's fraudulent, that it's fake, and that you're going to be in the hands of a con artist, a scamster. So thank goodness nothing bad happened here, and you gave people another warning about how the criminals turn those Google searches against you and your wallet.
Jim in Texas says, enjoy the show and the insights provided. I came across a general topic for listeners who may have set up a business organization for legal protections afforded by such a structure. For example, maybe a small business LLC, corporation, or rental property. Could you comment on the filing requirements and potential penalties for failing to file starting this year related to the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, fincen.gov, regarding providing beneficial ownership information?
So, I was asked about this before, and I went on fincen.gov and did the registration for my corporate entities. It's a pain, but a pretty quick pain. They're trying to to catch people that are money laundering seems to be the purpose of it. The explanation from the feds has been very poor. The website is not user-friendly, so you got to slog through it a bit. And some of the language they use on it is highly confusing. And it'll be a while before the feds will be able to execute this well. So I'm not really worried about owners of LLCs or S Corps or whatever who have not gone to fincen.gov yet, because, again, they need to clean it up some, make it more understandable, explain the purpose better. And it's one of those things that's been thrown out there. It's almost like throwing spaghetti at the wall. And so the execution, terrible, but the compliance with it is not very hard.
Charles in Texas says, Clark, I've been struggling for weeks with the decision of whether to fire our financial advisor who is charging us a 1% management fee. My wife and I are 35, and the advisor has been managing our retirement accounts for 3 years now. The advisor's services and account returns are fine, but I can't get over the hundreds of thousands in potential fees we will pay them if we stick to our retirement savings plan. They are fiduciaries and don't try to sell me commission-based junk, but I'm considering the Boglehead approach of low-cost index funds and chill. Also, I'm a CPA and feel comfortable managing my finances. What are your thoughts?
You have stated your own thoughts that there are people who benefit very much from having a fiduciary fee-only financial planner and paying the industry standard 1%. You're not one of those people, Charles, and you want me to bless you going out on your own. And if you are a Boglehead, for those of you who don't know what a Boglehead is, they're phenomenal. They're fun people. I actually spoke to the annual convention of the Bogleheads last year.
Named after John Bogle.
John Bogle, the founder of Vanguard.
Vanguard, yeah.
And they are all about ultra low cost, taking control of your own destiny, living on less than what you make, and they are thrifty sorts. So if you're not getting anything other than picking funds, picking investments, and you want to go out on your own, you're already, if you're a Boglehead, I guess you're with Vanguard, you should be fine being able to do something as simple as just pick a target retirement fund for each of you. Or if you want to do the 3-fund portfolio that would work fine at 35, you could do that with doing the almost zero cost Vanguard index funds or the zero cost ones at Fidelity. Either would be fine. The real advantage of a financial advisor is much wider picking funds. That's not really what they're about. It's about building a plan for you, making sure you're meeting the goals that are important to you, that they keep you from overreacting when the market has declines and all that. You sound like an independent sort, and it's not a good fit for you to be with this 1%er. Even though you say everything about them is great, they're not right for you because you want to be your own advisor, and I think you're fine to do that at this stage of your life. And I want to thank you so much for joining us on today's podcast, devoted to you learning ways to save more and spend less and avoid getting ripped off. If you have a question that you don't know the answer to, you don't know how to solve a problem, you need some advice, we offer that for free, as we've done since 1993 at the Team Clark Consumer Action Center. You can reach 30 hours each week for one-on-one free advice. You can see how to do that at clark.com/CAC. Have a great rest of your day.